Yeah, I love to talk, film, discuss, to critique.
Yes, sir. What up? What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to Blood Splatter Chatter. My name is Verno. Here with me, Mr. Rockin' Robbie Billups, Sexy Link, and Big Stu. Why they call him sexy? I don't know. Stick around, you might find out.
This motherfucker pulled up a Yoo-hoo. Did you see that?
Right.
He's got a Yoo-hoo.
That's what I'm talking about. And we are here in the midst of March Madness, which has been a whole ton of fun going on across 4 different channels, Pop Culture Philosophers here on Blood Splatter Chatter, on Dylan's Horror Show, and one collection down, our man Fable over there, which we just had a great conversation doing Fight Club a couple nights ago. And tonight we're talking Re-Animator. I showed it, Robbie showed it, but I never said it. Re-Animator, Stuart Gordon's first film from 1985. This definitely the one that put him on the map, his most famous and successful film outside of, you got to say, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, which a lot of people forget that Stuart Gordon wrote. But what up, Rockin' Robbie Billups? Thanks for being here, my brother.
Dude, super excited to be here, man. I came in a couple weeks ago. We did House by the Cemetery because Fulci kind of pulls me. But, anybody I know that's covering this movie, Re-Animator, I'm going to be there because this is one of the greatest achievements in cinema history, period. So there you go.
I love it, dude. And Link, first time watch for you, right?
Oh, yes, sir. First time watch. I felt like I might have seen it before, but I think it was just I'd seen Jeffrey Combs in something, one of his other classics. But after watching this, I did my research, and pretty much I found out that this was the one that kind of put him on the map. So respect to that. But yeah, first time watch. It was fun. It was fun.
We did it last year for March Madness. We did From Beyond, which is his follow up to this. It's got Jeffrey Combs. It's got Barbara Crampton. So it's the same 2 lead actors, and they everybody says they switch roles, but there's more nuance to it than that. It's a little more
and another Lovecraft adaptation, right? Which Stuart Gordon's the best because he also did Dagon, which is actually a really good movie too. So maybe next year you do Dagon. I'm just saying.
I've seen that.
And Estes too, first time watch for you as well, right, brother?
Yeah, absolutely. I thoroughly enjoyed this one. It was like I said, From Beyond was a pleasant surprise, and in a lot of the same ways, this was in the same vein. So yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
That is perfect, man. I figured I was telling Robbie, I'm like, this is right up Stu's alley. And I said I would be surprised if Link didn't like it as well. We'll find out. We'll get there, but I have a feeling that you at least appreciated it. Now, I wonder how you would have felt about it if it would have been like the first horror movie we ever reviewed back on DHS. But coming all this way, I know I feel different about it. But open up, as we said, this is Stuart Gordon's first film. I love looking back and learning a little bit about him and how I want to say grassroots. I don't think that's the term, but just how small it was. He was, I think, the head of a theater production company in Chicago, and he filled out the ranks with some of the actors from there. They wanted to shoot the whole thing at the theater, and then the owner of the theater found out some of the content in the film. It was like, bro, okay, you definitely can't do that here. So they went out, they got this little place out in Hollywood, and he left the theater company altogether and decided to really go out and try this this filmmaking thing. They didn't have it rated, which I think is a pretty gangster thing to do. They didn't send it to the ratings board, and Stuart Gordon feels like the ratings board was kind of getting revenge on him for the rest of his career. He would put stuff out to him. They're like, nope, send it back, rated XXX, and just a little bit rough around him because of the success that he had, kind of skipping the process. But Robbie, you did this a couple weeks ago, or I don't know, what was it, a month ago when we talked about Stuart Gordon on our Masters of Horror episode. But you are the man that introduced me to this guy. You want to just kind of fill in the blanks a little bit? Just when you think Stuart Gordon, what do you think? What makes him unique as a filmmaker?
What I love about Stuart Gordon is the same thing I love about my favorite horror filmmakers, right? I say this about George A. Romero all the time, right? Argento, Craven, Carpenter, they're in a different kind of zone, right? But Stuart Gordon is right there to me with George A. Romero. He's the maverick. He's going to do what he wants to do no matter what. And you're right. Like, so he was in the Chicago theater. He was part of a company there. That's where he met his wife. He wanted to make a production. He wanted to make a film, right? And he had heard horror movies are where you need to go, right? And he was super into H.P. Lovecraft and all that shit, right? And he's done a lot of H.P. Lovecraft. He's done my favorite H.P. Lovecraft adaptations from anybody else. Re-Animator, From Beyond, Dagon, and of course Dreams at the Witch House from his Masters of Horror run. And he also did The Black Cat in season 2 of Masters of Horror, which is Edgar Allan Poe. And it's astounding. And Jeffrey Combs is in that.
No, I did not know that. Oh, that's exciting.
Jeffrey
That's
Combs
awesome.
the main character. He's basically playing Edgar Allan Poe, telling the story that's happening to him in The Black Cat. And it's the most like accurate adaptation of The Black Cat ever. Like, for instance, like the Universal Monsters, the Universal Horror, they did The Black Cat with Bela Lugosi and Boris Karloff. That's one of my favorite Universal monster movies or horror movies. Is nothing to do with the Edgar Allan Poe story, like at all. Like there's nothing, right? But if you've never seen The Black Cat, starring Bela Lugosi and Boris Karloff, definitely check that out. But what I love about Stuart Gordon, we just talked about him recently on PCP Movie Night. We talked about Robot Jocks.
Yeah.
Stu was there. I mean, Steph was there for that, right? And were you there for Robot? Yeah, you were there for Robot Jocks. And so I like what my man Fable said there. Like, Stuart Gordon's ambitious. He's ambitious from the very beginning of his career, but he's a maverick. He's always doing it on his own terms. Now, he did write and develop Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. That made him some money, right? But he's one of those filmmakers that he found a hard time in his career, like George A. Romero, to get funding for his films. This one, he got funding from Brian Usna, who we know as the director of such classics as Return of the Living Dead Part 3, and of course, Society, which is another fantastic achievement in American cinema.
Yeah.
But
I think I'm glad you brought him up, because I think when Fable wrote that ambitious, I think Usna is such a big part of like what we think of when we think of Stuart Gordon. So much of that is that Usna. That, what is it?
Yeah.
More is never enough. More isn't enough. I think that is Usna too. That
More
pushing
is
the
more.
envelope.
People always say less is more, and Stuart Gordon always said more is more.
No, he said more isn't enough, which I love, because it's like, okay, we'll give you some more. Well, it's not enough. All right, well, here's a little more. Still not enough.
Dude, that's in the first movie. That's here in Re-Animator.
Right.
There's a scene in particular we'll be talking about, I'm sure, that is more in your face and more provocative and more out there than anything that's been done since. And he's got these kind of scenes in every single one of his movies. Watch his movie Castle Freak, where you see a monster literally eating a chick out. Literally eating a chick out, right? And I remember my girlfriend at the time walked in and I was watching, and she walked in on that fucking scene. And she was like, you watch the fucking nastiest movies that I've ever fucking known. But I love
It always
Stuart
goes
Gordon.
down like that.
Yeah, it always goes down like that. I like that. That's fun. But no, Stuart Gordon is a maverick. He always did it his own way. Unfortunately, he's no longer with us. I never had a chance to meet him. But from this movie all the way through his final film, which was called Stuck, starring Mina Suvari, fantastic movie. He's made some cheesy movies, and most of the movies, aside from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, most people have seen a movie that he directed that they don't even know it was the Stuart Gordon film. That's Fortress with Christopher Lambert, right? The futuristic prison movie with Christopher Lambert. So that's him. He did I
know his
was it Space Truckers with Stephen Dorff and Dennis what's his name? Blue Velvet. God damn it.
Hopper.
Yeah, Dennis Hopper, right? He's done a lot of movies and worked with a lot of big stars. This movie is amazing. Stuart Gordon, to me, is peak film. Like, he never compromised. The one time maybe he compromised was just selling an idea and a script to Disney. Who wouldn't?
For
You know
Honey,
what
I
I'm
Shrunk the
saying?
Kid. Yeah, but it's one of the most impactful things. Yeah, fuck it, sell it away. You know what I mean? If he, it's funny to look at that, looking that he did Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and then picture Jeffrey Combs. There's like a mad scientist movie. It's not a million miles away from this movie, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and you know what I mean.
Right.
It's a
Yeah.
similar
That's a good
vibe,
point.
different
Absolutely.
directors.
Yeah. But Stuart Gordon is glorious. He's amazing. He's a maverick filmmaker. He's one of the most important horror filmmakers in American cinema history for sure. And he's the best adapter, I guess is the word, of H.P. Lovecraft stuff. Most people do H.P. Lovecraft stuff. It sucks, but not his films, including this one.
Hell yeah. I mean, it's one of the things they say about Lovecraft. It's like unfilmable. You know what I mean? That's like a big part of it. But I think him adding the humor to it is the move that a lot of people wouldn't make when adapting Lovecraft. That kind of probably makes it work. I haven't read a lot of Lovecraft, but it doesn't have that aspect to it. So
I've read a lot of Lovecraft, and it's usually because like you're in the narrator, you're in his head, you're in that descent into madness, which is appropriate for March Madness. Any Lovecraft adaptation is perfect for this. That's why From Beyond works so well. Dagon will work as well. But like so many of it, like I get it, it's unfilmable. It's kind of like Cormac McCarthy's Blood Meridian. It's just a movie that is, where it's just a story that is so like, it's hard to film it because in order to get the response that you get reading some of this stuff, right? Like when you read Lovecraft, it's not the best written stuff out there, but you really understand this dude's fucking insanity, his madness, and like nobody's ever even attempted, I think, to do Call of Cthulhu, right? Which is the most popular Lovecraft work. And Herbert West's Re-Animator was actually a series of 6 short stories.
Yeah.
And Stuart Gordon wanted to do 6 episodes of a TV show on PBS. Yeah. And PBS told him, it's a little too much for us, right? But he was thinking Masterpiece Theater because he's like, what's the difference between Edgar Allan Poe, William Shakespeare, and Lovecraft, H.P. Lovecraft, right?
Bro, if they would have had what's his Lamar Vert or whatever, Reading Rainbow, have him just introduce it like every time, it would have been like a children's version of like Tales of the Crypt or some shit. Would have been dope.
That would have been dope.
Don't lose your head.
Missed out on that one, didn't it?
Hell yeah. You made me think of a couple things. First of all, before I forget it, I wanted to mention Suitable Flesh. Link, you and I did it a while ago, like when it came out, but it is like the spiritual successor. It feels almost like it lives in the same world. You could read it as if it does live in this world. It's got Barbara Crampton in it. It was supposed to have Jeffrey Combs in it, but scheduling didn't allow it. But
it was meant to be Stewart's last movie before he passed away.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, he was developing that movie, and Joe Lynch took it over. And they
did
that as a tribute to Stewart. They did that as a tribute to Stewart. Because that movie has
when did that come out?
That movie's badass.
Early 2024, at the very end of 2023, early 2024.
Yeah, and Heather Graham's got amazing titties, man.
She does. The whole movie. They're there from start to finish. It's fucking impeccable. There's like one thing I really appreciate about in Suitable Flesh, there's like I don't know, they're in like a hospital setting, and they've got this black security guard sitting at a desk outside of the lockup room, and it's like, I know that dude. You know what I mean? It's just like a nod to the character in this movie. There's so many things in that.
There's a great moment in this film too, where he's like, "Fuck all this! I'm calling the cops."
The other thing I wanted to mention real quick is just surprising. I don't know if it's surprising, but this is the 3rd highest rated horror movie from the 1980s on Rotten Tomatoes. Which I think this is another one. I say this a lot. Like if you're a normie, like I would say I was like 3-4 years ago. Like Re-Animator, never heard of her. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. Like Stu, Link, had you guys heard of Re-Animator? You guys grew up seeing this, knowing what it was, and just not watching it, or is it something that you had never heard of till recently?
I definitely heard of it. Possibly even seen the movie cover or with him and the syringe or whatever, or just seen that image. But I definitely hadn't. This was not something I would have been keen to check out before I became vetted.
Yeah, I just knew it by name. I knew it by brand almost, but I didn't know the particulars of what it was, or you know what I mean. I just knew it was one of those underground horror movies that you had to see. But this is, again, it's a first time watch for me. So
And is this not the best tagline you've ever seen on a movie poster? Herbert West has a very good head on his shoulders and another one in a dish on his desk.
Absolutely.
I mean, come on. And
So good.
1985, the year of Day of the Dead, one of the greatest years of horror cinema. This is 1985.
Same year. This is perfect pairing with another 85 film, Return of the Living Dead. Return of the Living Dead and Re-Animator, you're going to have yourself one of the greatest cinematic experiences of your life.
do you guys know how it did upon release? Was it did it?
I wish I did. Do you know, Robbie?
It didn't make a lot of money initially. It made a lot of money in the video market, right?
Okay.
It was released unrated, so that means that it's like not shown on a lot of theater screens, right? But it had a $900,000 budget, and it made $2 million. So for Stuart Gordon, that's pretty good. And aside from like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, it is his most successful movie because of the video market, because of the legacy of this film. This is a movie that's still talked about today. Case in point, we're doing it right now.
Hell yeah, man. So last thing I wanted to mention as far as fun facts is like I want to go back and check these out further, but I love the fact that Stuart Gordon was a big fan of the Roger Corman productions, where Roger Corman made a series of movies based on Edgar Allan Poe stories, and he just loved the idea of Edgar Allan Poe's blah, and then another movie, and just coming out with one after another. So I like the idea that he was a fan of that, just tried to recreate it with H.P. Lovecraft.
Yeah.
But I want to,
in a way, right?
I want to wrap it around this way. We'll end with Robbie and Stu. Kick it off for us, man. Your overall thoughts, first time watching Re-Animator.
Yeah, I thought it was spectacular. I thought, the storyline is super simple but super effective, and it turns into kind of something in the last third of the movie as well. Like I'm sure we're gonna get to it, but again, like with From Beyond, the practical effects right there from the early scene with Dr. Gruber in your face, man, and they do not let you go the whole way, and it's the shining star of the movie for me, and the way they find. The way they incorporated in this one is really genius. I thought, it's super creepy and diabolical, and it's just great mad science. It's delicious fun, and yeah, it's got a great strong 4 or 5 performances, and yeah, our boy Herbert is just a stud. I just love him coming in there with the gusto, accusing the other doctor of being a fraud, and just how he's taking the tour of the house, loving the basement, and I just love the way they built the vibes, and the way the look of everything, like the green goo, and everything, all the little details worked. Even when like the scene with the cat was ridiculous, but it was fucking awesome at the same time. You know what I mean? So even the scenes that were kind of like tongue in cheek funny were badass, and it was super violent, and I love that about it. So it was downright shocking at some point. So
Right.
Yeah, dude.
That scene with the cat, by the way, is so genius because it's Bruce Abbott and Jeffrey Combs. They're just acting.
There's no
right?
cat.
Like there's no cat there, right? Like there's some moments where they're like pulling things off and they add in the sound design, but that's all like Three Stooges fucking acting, man. It's awesome, dude.
It is. It's great. And I love when he throws it against the wall. I was losing my shit.
Why is that so good? There's two times.
There's a bit where it's like, if you notice when he throws it against the wall, there's a bit that's stuck there. And it just
And then later on, when they're, I think the security guard is outside the morgue and they throw a head past him and it goes off the wall. It's another similar thing.
Dude, you talk about favorite moments of the movie. And he just took off. Yeah.
trying to run through the whole rundown in fucking the first 5 seconds.
My bad.
You're right. I love you. My brother, Missing Link, first time watch. What did you think overall, man? Dying to know.
I enjoyed it. This is funny you brought up me viewing it before I became vetted, because I did cross my mind. This movie is cheesy, but cheesy isn't always bad. Like Stuart Gordon has a lot of cheese in his movies, but there's a lot of passion that comes along with that cheese, and that correlates with the whole ambition thing. but you can always you can feel that in this movie. I don't want to get too far ahead, but I will say a particular performance kind of really stole the show. But everyone else was fine, you know. But you know, the effects were fun. You know, it was. I didn't really think of it until you said something about it a few minutes ago, Vera. But this was like a Frankenstein tale for like the '80s at the time,
Right.
you know. And I didn't really peep that at the time, so I respect that. It's a fun movie, you know. This is one that I think will definitely, not to say I didn't like it now, but it will grow me with more watches.
I
Because
can
it's got
totally
some
see that.
quotable. Yeah,
It
it's,
grew
you know,
on me.
some of the lines. Sorry. Well,
No, I was just saying, like I always think, and some people disagree, but like comedies grow on me more with further watches. And there's
yes.
something like when I watch
Yeah.
it this time, I'm not saying I'm dying laughing the whole time, but I have a grin on my like a stupid fucking grin on my
Yeah.
face. A good chunk of the movie. It's just like you can't take it seriously. That's the thing
Yes.
about it. Like
Yeah.
this isn't a movie that's meant to be taken seriously, but it's not to say that not to say that it's a shallow movie at the same
Yeah.
time, but it's a goofy fucking movie and it's cheesy as all
Yes.
hell.
Yeah. You know, and there was a certain scene where I had to. Oh, it was when he kind of walks in on the spoiler, the doctor he kills doing his thing, you know, and he just kind of Jeffrey Combs walks in all smooth, and they're having like a banter back and forth, and says that line of like, no one's gonna believe a talking head or something like that. And I don't know, I had to rewind that just because it was like so cheesy, but you know, very charming at the same
Who's
time.
gonna believe a talking head? Get yourself a job.
I'm just now getting the joke that there's the Talking Heads poster in the main character's bedroom the whole time. You know what I mean? What is the name of that concert? That famous concert?
Stop Making Sense.
Stop Making Sense. Yeah, poster in his background. Duh. Talking Heads. Brilliant.
But no, I did enjoy the movie, and I would I'm excited to see what I extrapolate upon further watches.
Hell yeah. Robbie, not a first time watch for you. What do you think of this film?
Yeah, this is like my 28th time watching this fucking film. I fucking love this movie, man. First time I watched it was in the DVD to mail Netflix days. It was a film I had always heard about. And when I was like, you know what? Now I got a chance because maybe my movie gallery, maybe my Blockbuster didn't have all of these films. You know what I'm saying? But I got to like dive deep when Netflix showed up with the DVD service, right? Re-Animator was one of those ones, man. And I've loved this film ever since. It is rambunctious. It is ridiculous. It is so much fun. This movie is fun. This is why we watch movies. We don't watch movies for an escape. We don't watch movies to dive in deep and learn about ourselves. Some of us do sometimes with some movies, but Re-Animator is just put it on, lay back, have a fucking joint, maybe drink some whiskey. You're going to have a great fucking time with this movie. It is literally, in my opinion, one of the greatest cinematic achievements in cinema history. This movie pushes boundaries. This movie is scary. It's unsettling. It's unnerving. It's got amazing music. And for a first-time filmmaker, it's rather profound how incredible every aspect of this movie is. Coming in at a lean 126, or not 126, but like 1 hour and 26 minutes.
We should have opened with that. That's like so fucking beautiful.
It does not waste it. Yeah, it doesn't waste its time. It gets right into it. Brilliant performances. There's so much. You can feel the fun the filmmakers and the actors are having while making this movie. It's one of my favorite films, man.
It's Stuart Gordon's first film?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
He did this, and then some studio, whatever, gave him a 3-film deal.
Empire did it.
He had to shoot it all in Italy. So he did Dolls, he did From Beyond, and he did
Robot Jobs.
Oh, that's the other one?
That's the third one.
Yeah, I need to check it out.
Empire went out of business, and it delayed that film for a minute. But he actually did Dolls right after this one, but because of the special effects, it came out after From Beyond.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
This, as we're about to dive into the characters, chill out, man. Thank you, dude. This popped in my head at some point during this viewing. that Herbert West and Sheldon Cooper, don't get me wrong, there's a difference. They're not the exact same person, but you guys all know who Sheldon Cooper is for the Big Bang Theory, to a degree at least.
Unfortunately.
If you could pull Herbert West and put Sheldon Cooper in this movie and it's almost the same fucking movie, it would work perfectly the same. They have such similar energy. Just Herbert West has this more sinister side to him where he might fucking kill you, where you don't think Sheldon Cooper's going to do that, but that's hilarious. Thank you, Chill.
They're both very snarky and very pompous, and they're
pompous
they're
is
related,
all
like I said,
hell. Yeah. They're just looking down at everyone else. And just, I don't know. I thought that yesterday. I'm just imagining everything as Sheldon Cooper. But Stu, big boy, pick a character. Who's one you want to highlight? Who's your favorite character in Re-Animator?
Security guard. Yeah, what was his name? I love that guy.
His name was Carl Winslow.
Always ready. Always ready
His
to break.
His name is Robert Paulson.
Got the hell out of there when he got a head thrown out. Like, I love that scene, like you were just talking about, Vern, and him walking down the hallway and the head comes flying out and he sees it and just takes off. And that's the end of his story.
He did the sensible thing.
It just made me crack up. And when you talk about comedic nuance with a Lovecraft story, I think he really fit the bill and brought that element full force. So I love seeing him on screen. I was like, man, he's gonna come across something awful in that room and really have to get into it. But yeah, I love also how Herbert tried to explain his situation when he came in there with the gun drawn. Herbert's such a nefarious little fuck. I love how he's always trying to weasel his way out of the situation. So
I'm looking for that dude's name. I cannot. He's not even in the cast.
He's so great in that movie too, and I love the implied masturbatory break. Right, because he's reading like a dirty magazine. He's like, I'm gonna go catch me some coffee, if you know what I mean. He checked and he's like,
I totally missed that.
He has the same magazine. He's like, I'm gonna go catch me some coffee, if you know what I'm saying, bro.
I think Robbie's being a little bit. I think he was more on the nose. He said something like it's playtime or some shit like that.
That reminds me. I'm gonna overshare, dude. We were like in 7th or 8th grade. And we're sitting around. It was a group of like 4 or 5 of us looking at porn magazines back before the internet. And my one buddy in the group, it's like late at night. My one buddy's gets up and goes, I got to take a shit. Don't you guys? And he walks out of the room. We're forever. For 20 years later, we'll be like, I got to take a shit.
2 or 3 of the penthouses, right? He's like, I got to go take a shit.
He's been living with that line for decades. We've never let him forget.
That's so funny.
Yeah. Lick, my brother, who do you want to highlight?
It's an easy one, but I respect Stu for picking the only black person in the cast. But I'm gonna go with Jeffrey Combs. He's got the pizzazz. He's the thunder. He stole the show. And I lack of a better term, he's kind of like anytime he's on screen, it's like electrifying. Like he's like the most appealing or drawn thing on the screen. I don't know how to articulate it.
Movie, right? He's literally Dwayne Johnson in this movie. He's the most electrifying fucking performer in this movie.
Yes.
And he steals the show from anybody else. Like the lead character, I always forget his name. This is the most I've ever appreciated his performance. But there's no way to just think of this movie and not just think of Herbert West and his performance.
Yes. Yes, I gotta go with our man Herbert, not the pervert. But yeah, Jeffrey Combs.
I don't know. We don't know. It could have happened.
It could be a bird.
I wouldn't be shocked.
And what would the note say, Dan? Cat dead, details later. Even from the very beginning, when he's like, no, I gave him life. It's so good.
That was a great line.
He is Victor Frankenstein, dude.
Yeah,
he is that best mad scientist, man.
That scene, I think Stu, I think you pointed out that you liked it earlier, or one of you guys did. That was added after the fact. They pretty much made the movie, and they were like, "Shit, with the way this is set up, people aren't going to realize what kind of movie this is until too late." Where some people might be checked out by then. They're like, "Let's hit them with the goods right off the bat," and I love it. It's so good.
Yeah,
I love any time that there's like a bulging skin where you've got pumps or whatever, a bladder underneath fake flesh that makes it pump. That's one of my favorite cheesy looking 80s practical effects.
All the bladder effects were so popular back in this day, but man, I can't think of a movie that does it better than Re-Animator. Because even like
Yeah.
the howling, it looks too stupid at times, right? Altered state.
There's something about the
these,
bulging in this.
yeah, these movies look too stupid, but the way they're using it with the veins on the first guy, they reanimate.
Yeah.
The way they're using it with the eyes in the beginning of the movie, like it's perfect.
The other great
It's
one, you
so
made me
very-
think of it. You made me think of it mentioning the Halloween, but American Werewolf in London, the nose growing is another. Like I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure that's the same thing where it's a bladder type of thing going on. Scanners, Fable is saying.
Oh, yo, real quick. Initially with the opening scene, I thought that this is like first 5 minutes. I thought this, but I was like, yo, is he gonna be like framed? You know, because I think he killed the dude. You know, and he. You know, he's like, no, I was trying to reanimate him, but no, that quickly, was not the case. But I did think that for first couple minutes.
It's just that tone setter, and like you said, Robbie, that line.
Yeah.
You kind of get the cheesiness and all that right there too. No, I gave him life. It's like, okay, I know what I'm in for. Robbie, who do you want to highlight, my brother? You want to comment? Anybody else? Herbert West? Anybody? Up and down.
I love Jeffrey Combs in this movie. He's amazing. I love Barbara Crampton in this movie. I love David Gale as Dr. Hill in this movie, aka John Kerry from 2004. I remember when I voted for John Kerry in 2004, I was like, this is the bad guy in Re-Animator. He looks just like him. Look at him.
He does look.
It's the hair.
He talks like him too, man. Like it's fucking uncanny. I thought it was the same fucking dude for a long time, man. But the performance I want to highlight, and Bruce Abbott does a great job too. And so yeah, I will go with John Kerry. John Kerry Jr., David Gale as Dr. Carl Hill. He is a great villain because when you watch this movie, from that, this is what's brilliant about that first scene. Oh, so Herbert West, the Re-Animator, is the villain of the film. No, he's not. And if you read the H.P. Lovecraft series of little short stories, all that's there. Like he literally does get his head cut off at some point in that, right? And like reanimates himself and puts like a fake head on. He's like keeping his actual head in a fucking bag, like a doctor's bag with him and shit. Like they get into that more in like Bride and Beyond, but which are not near as good of films as these ones, right? Like Bride of Re-Animator was directed by Brian Usnub, Dennis Paoli, the writer, one of the writers of Re-Animator was a part of that.
Would you say worth a watch though, for sure?
Well, Bride of Re-Animator is worth a watch. Beyond, not so much unless you love Re-Animator, and then watch it. But it's a bad film, right? And they wanted to do another one. They wanted to do a fourth one where he's at the White House. Stuart Gordon always wanted to do that, right? So I love this film, and I love David Gale's performance as Dr. Hill, because this dude is so fucking creepy. And he is creepy from the fucking get-go, dude. First of all, he's got that cool, like energy. He's got this great, like, energy with Jeffrey Combs, like over the whole fucking, you're stealing Gruber's fucking research and all this kind of shit, right? So that's cool. And you feel his frustration, especially in the bit where he's like, I will take pleasure in failing you, Mr. West, right? But dude, what about that? Here's the creepiest scene, right? And we got a scene where this dude is trying as a head to give head to a fucking co-ed. We have so many creepy scenes with this dude where he's like performing surgery. He's got mind control. That's one thing the movie doesn't really adequately get to, I think, is that they mentioned.
I wanted to ask these guys about that. Yeah.
Yeah, they mentioned it briefly. Please, Dr. Hill he's trying to understand where the will is in the brain. And that's why he's doing these surgeries, right? So that he can control people. They get a little bit more into that in the H.P. Lovecraft short stories.
There's a deleted scene, Stu and Link, where Dr. Hill, like the main bad guy that gets his head cut off, he like has these special abilities, whether it's like some pseudoscience shit or whether he's magical, where he can do mind control. There's a cut scene. If you remember, when they find out, like, oh, you're reanimating corpses, and the main character goes to the dean and he tells him, like, Herbert West has fucking found out how to reanimate corpses. And he's like, get the fuck out of my university. He's like, wait, what? Let me explain myself. Get the fuck out of here. You're terrible. There's a cut scene where that dude was hypnotized into being against Herbert West and the main character. And then later on, Herbert West and Hill when they have their little meeting, he tells him, "You will do what I tell you."
Yeah, he
And
pulls the
Herbert West is
Dracula
like,
on the motherfucker,
he's
right?
like, okay, and he
Oh,
starts giving
wow.
him his notes and shit. But it's kind of like when you don't know that there's this cutscene, it's like, huh, what's going on? Like, did that
Yeah.
stand out to you guys?
They briefly mention it in the film.
Yeah, he briefly has like a little declaration where he's like, I've been committing these surgeries so I can have mind control over, but it's really quickly explained. It's like comic book stuff.
We will discuss the will of the brain at another point. In the meantime, Mr. West, I suggest you get yourself a pen.
Yeah, that's my favorite bit.
For me, I will admit that went over my head, the whole mind control bit. But I didn't really question anything just because it fit the nature of it was
Right.
a mad scientist movie. Like there's who knows what type of experiments were being conducted, or the effects they would have, or adverse effects or something. So I mean, I didn't think of that, but one scene that did come to mind that I could kind of see like the whole mind control bit playing into it was when he's sneaking into the morgue with the fake head. And
Yeah.
this is right before the masturbating scene with the security guard.
Right.
And he's like, is that you? He like drops the ear falls off or whatever. And he's like, yes, And I don't know. I just kind of felt like, bitch, you're not going to turn around and look. You're just going to let anybody walk past it just because you heard a voice. I don't know. And I was like, so knowing the whole mind, that was him, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So knowing the mind control thing, that does play into that scene a little bit more, how he could just slide, like kind of reminds me of Phantom X. He could, slightly just nudge you in the other direction. Like, he's not controlling your mind, just make you not look this way real quick while he goes off and does his fucking thing.
Could you imagine if that was part of the movie? I think it would be so kind of lame. You know what I mean? Like, just to have that other aspect of it. Like, it's as grounded as a movie like this can be without that aspect. And then you throw that in, you're like, wait, what?
But it is.
Where's that come from?
Like, that's the first surgery you see him performing when like Dan brings the corpse into the morgue, and they're like, "Oh, Dr. Hill's doing an autopsy," and he's like drilling into his brain. He's basically lobotomizing this person, right? He's understanding through lobotomy how he can control people. He does it with the Dean. He does it with all of the reanimated corpses by the end of the film. But he's amazing in the film. His delivery,
his face,
so good. He's such a great director. He's such a great actor, and he is so creepy. Before any of this shit happens, when he's given that toast about Meg, Barbara Crampton's here. And you're just like, dude, if I was that Dean, you're clueless, man, because this dude is all about your daughter, and it is creepy.
It makes me feel clueless because either I forgot or I never noticed just how obsessed with her he already is throughout the course of the whole movie. I think
next time you watch the movie, Verno.
No, right? I noticed it now. I'm just saying this.
All right,
time.
So like you see, like every time he's on the screen with her, he never moves his eye from her. It's so fucking awkward, and we know 50, 60-year-old men like this, and it's fucking gross.
I know a 41-year-old man like it. It's disgusting.
I know a 43-year-old man like that, and it's me. But anyway, so,
I was gonna say, are we all approaching this age where it's like we got to extend the goalposts as the years go on? Like I felt that way when I was 18. When I was 18, I was like, shit, bro. When you're 30, throw in the towel, bro. You're halfway there. You might as well be middle aged.
Me and Jelena used to have that conversation at the club. I was like, if I'm at the club at 30 years old, fucking kill me. And then we're at the club at 30 years old, like, what the fuck is wrong with these kids?
Lady walks
they don't know how to club.
Whoa, hold on. Give me a minute. This is a great comment from Chill. I wanted to make sure I highlight. It says West is not a bad guy. He's the part of us trying to get back someone we loved and lost by reanimating them. That's the story I want to see. Chill says. Why? Ooh. Why? Capital letters. Is West so determined to complete this? There's a backstory, which probably maybe it comes up in the sequels that I'm not aware of.
Not really.
But there is this determination about you do want to know more. I don't say I need it. The story doesn't necessarily need it, but it is like
that's what you get from Dan and Bride of Re-Animator, right? Because it's like he's trying to like Bride of Re-Animator. You would think that it would start with him bringing Meg back to life, right? But it's about like another patient he loses that he falls for that he's trying to bring back. One cool thing about Bride is that you do have David Gale, Bruce Abbott and Jeffrey Combs back. That's awesome.
Which
That's so cool. It gives it a consistency that like Beyond doesn't have.
Oh,
because it just has Jeffrey Combs.
Yo, speaking to Chill's comment, they did cross my mind that this film could be like, it would vary on this success and how it would turn out, but there's something there in terms of like a remake I would like to see, and maybe that's where the whole prequel thing comes in, or like, you know, Wes, his goal for this, or his motivation for all of this, like what happened to him. I was kind of thinking like you could do it like a keeping like the theme of like these two dudes, like almost like a Scanners thing, where it's like they're undergrads or whatever doing experiments on the fucking side. Like it's not really like, you know how dude kind of find out about it in this, but in like the remake or the prequel, it'd kind of be like some underground shit, you know, like you can't let everybody know about this, especially in today's time. But I don't know, I think there is something there in terms of like they're remaking everything nowadays. Why not Re-Animator?
I'm just sitting here thinking, Herbert, who is going to do that? I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible, but that would be an interesting casting. I was thinking also
I think I have him.
Bruce Abbott, who's the main guy. Imagine, because I think he does a good job, but he's forgettable. Like the main guy. Imagine
he's very forgettable.
Imagine if it was Michael J. Fox, Tom Hanks, Michael Bateman. Like there's so many actors from that era that could have like made this a standout thing, right?
Because Combs is so distinct, you needed someone like this. Dude's an unknown to me at this point. You know, he's kind of, the fact that you guys are praising him, I give props to that. I am not seeing it. Like Jeffrey Combs stole the show for me, and then Barbara Crampton, the villain. But the main dude, like you said earlier, I didn't forgot he was the fucking main dude. I thought it was Jeffrey Combs movie.
I'm not saying he was great or anything. I'll say
no.
I watched it, whatever. If you would have showed me a bunch of pictures of a bunch of fucking doofy looking people, I don't know if I would have been able to pick them out of a lineup previously. I've heard Stuart Gordon say, and of course he would say this, but he seemed serious about it. He's like, he gets overlooked so much that like he's the actor kind of holding it together. He's the guy. He's Jerry Seinfeld. He's the straight man in the middle of all these really crazy over the top characters.
Yeah,
and like all I'm saying is
right now.
Yeah, when I watch it this time, like he is doing a good job. He's not doing a bad job.
How many times
I was like,
do you see
what
this
if it was someone doing a great job?
How many times do you see this dude mentally break in the movie, and he does it so well, where he like collapses and he just loses. He's trying to take notes when the dean gets killed and the dean gets reanimated. And he drops down. He's just repeating what Herbert says because this dude is fucking lost, right?
Yeah. I might have been on a different plane, or I might not have given him enough credit. But one mental note I did take when I saw the main dude with Jeffrey Combs was, I feel like Jeffrey Combs is the only person who knows what movies he's in right now. You know, everyone else is trying to really.
I think Jeffrey Combs made the tone of the movie that he is in. You know what I mean? Like his performance is the defining thing of the film. So everyone else found out what movie they were in after he said his lines.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. This is what we're doing. Yeah. I remember not liking him at first. Like, what the fuck is with this guy? Who does he think he is? Like, there's something well, he comes. I don't know. He's so off-putting. Obviously, it's like who's that comedian? Whatever. I can't think of his name. He's got too much confidence. And when you don't know him, you're like, come on, bro. Did you earn this confidence? But I mean, I'm sold on him now. But at first I was thrown off. SoCal Dan, son of a bitch. What up, man? You guys know what's cooler than Re-Animator? It's how close we are to 2,000 subs. Let's sign up. Sign up, baby. We're getting there. Yeah, we are getting really close to 2,000 subs, man. Thanks, brother.
Yeah, dude.
Skarsgård is a new Herbert West. That's funny. Jim Carrey,
no,
Jim fucking Carrey.
I don't think he'd do it, but no, that'd be fun. But the dude from District 9, he was in the Old Boy remake. Shiparo. He's like South African, but he's very eccentric, and he gives me like those vibes of Jeffrey Combs, Herbert.
That's a good call.
Sharito Copley.
Yes, Sharito.
He's got a fucking demented look to him. That's for sure. At least in this,
he's at least
a great actor too.
If you've seen him, any movie he does is like almost very distinctly different from any role. You know, you're never gonna see District 9 and be like, oh, it's very like, great actors aside, Sam Jackson, Morgan Freeman, there's certain actors, they get to Bruce Willis, they get to a certain status and they're just playing themselves after a while. They're still good, but this dude's always a different character.
Tom Cruise been doing it since like 85.
Denzel's
Yeah.
Jack Nicholson's been doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Brad Pitt. Well, no,
That's
never mind.
true.
Brad Pitt has his roles where he does that, but he's a character actor.
Yeah.
Speaking of just fun facts, before we move on, Jeffrey Combs I think this is the fun fact. He's played more roles in Star Trek than like anybody by far. He's been in like the majority of the Star Trek series. Yeah, they just keep bringing him back.
Fresh paint and makeup on him, and he's a new character. Jeffrey Combs is in so many Star Trek series: TNG, DS9, Voyager. Jeffrey Combs is all over Star Trek.
Yeah, big time. And then the other thing, because we mentioned before we move on from the cast, is just we mentioned his wife, who I've lost the cast now. What is her name? Carolyn Purdy Gordon. She is I don't know if she's another doctor.
Like a nurse or a doctor.
She's a nurse or a doctor in this one. She's the town like, get your shit together.
She's the one in From Beyond being like, don't eat that brain. That's gross.
She's the one that gets her brain sucked out of her eye and From Beyond. But what I was trying to figure out is like, okay, she doesn't get killed in this movie, but every movie that Stuart Gordon makes after this, he kills his wife.
Yes, he does
in the movie,
and he doesn't get all the flack that Dario Argento gets for it. You know what I'm saying?
Right?
Is he in Death Proof or Planet Terror?
I don't know. Jeffrey Combs. I don't know.
Yeah, the cook, the barbecue cook
with Michael J. Fox. I know that. I don't know. I don't know if he is or not.
Oh, he was the bad guy in Frighteners. Yo, yeah, I remember that.
Guy in Frighteners.
They say they hired him to pretty much play this role.
He's in the remake of House on Haunted Hill with Jeffrey Rush as well. If you remember that, he's in that.
Was that the 99, like 99 2000s?
Yeah, that one. He's. I don't think he's in. Yeah, he's not in the movie you were just talking about.
Let's go around real quick. Let's do this. Yeah, fuck it. I'm just looking at the time right now because I got to wrap this bitch up pretty soon. I'm with child. My wife got mandated to work, so I got the kid out there. She's watching Boss Baby.
Too bad you picked Re-Animator tonight.
it's gonna end soon. I think we got this. Let's go around and give me your fuck it. Go around real quick, Stu. There's enough great moments in this movie, just crazy. Whether they be special effects moments, just some funny shit. And let's hit me with your favorite moment of the film before we rate this thing.
Oh man, that's a tall task. I really liked the whole, like, the kind of the transformation between the relationship between her and her dad, and that, like, him kind of turning into a zombie and her still having feelings, for him, and still holding that hope that he could be saved there for a minute. I don't know.
Wasn't he protecting her at the end?
Yeah, it seemed like.
Okay.
I love when the boyfriend's like trying to tell him he's not.
He's dead.
He's not crazy. He's dead.
Yeah, that was fun. I'm trying to think of my favorite gruesome moment, man. I don't know. I'm gonna come back. Y'all go ahead. I'm gonna think on that for a second.
Fable saying Combs is in Fortress too. I don't know.
Fortress,
but I'm assuming you guys do.
Movie. He's even in Robot Jocks for like a brief moment. He's one of the dudes.
I was going to mention they come back. Jeffrey Combs and Barbara Crampton come back and star together in Castle Freaks, which is
they do
really good. It's more low budget than this, probably. The version I saw looked like shit, so it wasn't a remastered version. So in my head, it's like,
it's more really transgressive for sure.
It is, but it's another one that's like an hour and 26 minutes, and it does all the things that these movies
and
do.
They're in From Beyond together as well, right? So yeah.
Link, my brother, you got a favorite moment? Or sorry, I think I cut you off. You're about to say something.
No. Favorite, easy pickings for me. I'm gonna go with the head scene.
The head giving head.
The head, that was pretty. It wasn't gnarly, but I was like, oh shit, they went for it. I was like, this was like 85. Okay, that's pretty creative. It was fun. And then shout out to, like I mentioned earlier, where he's like sneaking in, using the body to sneak into the morgue. He's like, is that you, doctor? He's like, yes. He's like, okay.
Of course it is.
It's
Of course it's me.
Don't you recognize me?
Well, you kind of just reminded me. I had a whole other segment that I want to get to that I'm honestly not going to be able to get to unless we do it really briefly. But that to me, it's difficult to watch. But I'm like, holy fuck, that they went there with what Barbara Crampton goes through. She is a gamer. I should have given her my favorite character just because of what she was willing to put up with. But it's like, Stu, I really want to know, like, because of your sensibilities, how did that make you feel? What Barbara went through? How did it make you feel? Show me on the dial. No, like, honestly, like, what did you think of it? Because it does go so far, and it's not tasteful, but it's also like, I respect them from going there, but it's, I don't know.
But it doesn't actually get
it's
there, right?
wild and creepy, but yeah.
Were you hard? That's what I want to know. Were you hard or not? Yes or no?
No.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. No, definitely not.
That's fine.
I was more stiffy in that initial scene of him or her and Dan having sex
Intercourse
at the very beginning, where she's like putting her pants back on and putting her bra on.
They're really cute after that.
Very vanilla.
When he's coming out with the sheet and she's like, no, like that's a
she's like, no, yes,
very realistic.
Yes.
Yo, I think I know what scene the actor got the villain got, or the decapitated head got like divorced for. It was like, I don't think it was the eating out scene. I don't think it was that. I think it was like where he's like licking all over her body and shit.
Yes,
looking at
do
it.
it.
What was
That's kind of exactly like, I think that's more disturbing than the eating out part. It's because, like, bro, we get it. Yeah. There's no reason to actually lick her breast, which it looks like he does.
I felt like there's some Tarantino shit going on with the indulgences. We know he has this foot fetish where he's got to go out of his way to put a foot scene in there. I was like, yeah, we get it. It wasn't intense, but I was like, okay, we get it. They're kind of lingering on it a little bit, just to get those hormones going.
Stu, I know you got a dip. So Robbie, give 1 second, but before we get to, I want your comments on the transgressiveness of that final scene and just any other moments you want to point out. But Stu, I know you got to go. You're going over to talk with the homie John with comics. John,
yeah, man. John's Comics with Kid.
Thank you. I've been fucking that up for years. Give me your score and then get the fuck out of here. No, then give me your score and then tell me anything you want that you have to promote.
Well, yeah, I'll just give you my score and then get out of here. Let you guys continue the conversation. Right. Yeah, 4 out of 5 for me. I love the film. Fantastic. It was, fantastic first watch. Love the special effects. Love the story. Love the performances. So, thank you for throwing it on the menu. Another like, who directed it? What was his relation with From Beyond?
He directed it. All the same people acted in it, and this dude directed it.
So, but you said this was his first film.
Yeah, he From Beyond. He like we said earlier, he got that 3 film contract after this. Filmed Dolls next, and then From Beyond. But they released From Beyond as the follow up to this.
How many years apart were these?
Like 1, right? Yeah, From Beyond released in '86. They shot this in 18 days, and then went over to Italy. Didn't fucking learn Italian in the meantime, and shot that bad boy real quick.
That's sick. But yeah, 4 out of 5 for me, brother.
All right, brother. Well, I appreciate you, and go. Everybody, go check you over on John's channel.
Yeah, man. We'll be on John's channel.
As soon as we wrap this up, go hang out with them. We're about to wrap it up real soon. All right, peace out, homie. All right, now, this mirrors we all feel a little bit better. No, I'm just joking. Still, I love you. I'm just kidding. Robbie, any final moments or any favorite moments, and then really let's start there. Like, what do you think of that? Like, I know you love the transgressiveness, and I do too. There's something about that moment that I'm like, oh my god, it's so effective, but at the same time, it's like so tasteless. It's like, what the fuck?
Well, I love that moment. That is my favorite moment in the film, and it's very uncomfortable, but it's meant to be uncomfortable, and that's something Stuart Gordon does in all of his films. He's like, let me find the moment that makes the audience go, maybe I picked the wrong movie tonight. Right? And he does that. He does that in From Beyond. He does that in Stuck. He does it in Dagon. He definitely does it in Castle Freak. He loved to push boundaries. More is more. More is not enough, as we were talking about, right? And I love that scene. And yeah, Barbara Crampton was a super trooper in that one, right? Mm-hmm. Like, and she talks about that. She's like, it's hard to do that scene, but I'm glad I did it because nobody else has done a scene like that.
For real.
Right? Now, My favorite scene outside of that is the scene we talked about earlier. It's the fucking cat scene.
Yeah.
Because that's Jeffrey Combs and Bruce Abbott doing physical comedy like nobody's done since Jerry Lewis. You know what I'm saying? Like following that cat around. There's no cat there. There's a couple things that are like pulling wires on to knock off the fucking shelf.
Swinging the light.
Part, yeah, for the most part, that's Bruce and Jeffrey just improving is what that is. Like over there, right? Like it's so funny and it's so slapsticky, but at the same time, it fits the tone of the fucking movie. Totally. So I love that cat scene. And another one of my favorite delivered lines is when he goes, "Do you agree that this cat is dead? Do you agree that this cat is dead?" like it's just so fucking funny to me, man. This movie is disturbing. This movie is funny. This movie is ridiculous. This movie is scary, but overall, the movie is fun. It's a fun movie. And this, along with Return of the Living Dead, is one of my test movies. If I get some new friends, I get a new partner, new girlfriend, new boyfriend, something like that, I showed them Return of the Living Dead and Re-Animator. If they can't hang with that, they can't hang with me.
That's perfect. Because it's not too much either. It's like that's actually kind of perfect.
I'm not showing them Necromantic on the first date.
right, exactly. Oh well, you made me think. Oh, I guess I didn't say my favorite part. You made me think of something. Anyway, the one we kind of touched on earlier, but when he's sitting there breaking his pencils, there's two scenes that are similar to that. When Herbert West first meets Dr. Hill, and the dean's like, "Hi, this is Dr. Hill." It's like, "Well, you're a fucking idiot. And you're a ripoff, and you're plagiarizing."
In Europe, it's plagiarism.
I love the look on Dean Halsey's face. He's like, "Oh my god, like who is this guy?" There's something so like bold about him, so Sheldon Coopery and pompous about him that is just so funny to me. But I guess the other bit is it's Arnold Schwarzenegger's at that time body double is the first reanimated corpse that they reanimate. Him running around and the saw through the back, through the heart, shooting
the way he killed the dean, like jumping on that fucking.
It's great.
Fucking like a door, right? Like that steel.
Reminded
door.
me of like it's weird that it's funny. I mean, guess it's fitting, but when that scene was going on where he's like whooping Dean's ass. After I did my research, I was like, "Oh, that's fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger's stunt double."
Oh,
because that scene gave me vibes of like T1, where he's like arriving first in the parking lot with the punks, butt naked and shit. Just I was like,
right.
So I could see that, so it was fitting. But yeah, this movie had me doing some research, so props to did his job.
Let's go around quickly and rate this bad boy. I'm gonna kick it off. I don't normally do that, but this is kind of like what I said with The Machinist last week. I could have totally given The Machinist a 5. I don't know what it is about it that I won't, but I'm going to give this a 4.5. And I don't even know. There's something about me that almost likes From Beyond better. I don't know. Like I said that when we did From Beyond last year, but then going back and watch this, I remember, Robbie, we talked about that before. I mentioned that to you. And you're like, for me, it's Herbert West. He's the thing that kind of takes it over the top. And you're right. Like there is no Herbert West, not just in From Beyond, but anywhere. Like I think you putting up like a horror icon poster.
Yeah,
he's there. He's there. Like
there's more cheesy bits in From Beyond where like Ken Foree gets up or whatever. Like it just kind of looks a little bit more cheesy. But I
love that.
Beyond to see Barbara Crampton be sexy in like a way with agency. If that makes sense, right.
I mean, they're a great pairing. Some of the practical effects in From Beyond are what I like more. When Ken Foree is down with his fucking Speedo in the basement, you got that big monster coming out. There's just a lot of crazy moments. They're both great movies. But I don't know why I wouldn't give it a 5, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna give it a 4.5. Link, what say you?
Based off first viewing, I'll be honest. I'll give this one a strong. You know what? I was just trying to save this bit for Robbie's reviews, but I'll break it for here. I would give it like a 3.85 first viewing. Like I said, it's got heavy rewatchability, and like the lines and certain bits just seem like will be ironed in the more I'll get more out of it the more I watch it. So I'll give it a very, very strong 3.85.
I agree with that
I'm
1000%. Like I know I liked it the first time I saw it, but I do like this movie more every time I see it. It's funnier
yeah,
every
it's got
time.
a charm.
And it just I
Yes.
appreciate how quick it is. It's like bam, bam, bam. Oh, here we are. Like we're at the fucking end of the movie now. Oh, and
Mhm.
then like, is it a zombie movie? It's like I guess it's a zombie movie. Stuart Gordon calls them zombies.
It's a zombie movie.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
mad scientist movie. It's a horror comedy. It's all of those things, and that's what's brilliant about it.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
I think with the because I did find myself thinking that too. I was like, yeah, this is a zombie movie, bro. Like, you know, I think someone would debate that is because it's not the hang up isn't the zombies, but it's like
The zombie
they're in
movie.
this movie. It's a
Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein is a zombie movie,
Right.
yeah,
It depends on how tightly you cling to the rules, the Romero rules of zombieism.
yes.
You know what I mean? It's not that, but
Yeah.
it is like a different take on reanimated corpses, obviously. But hell yeah, man. So a 3.85 from Link, 4.5 from me, Mr. Rock and Robbie Billups. What say you?
Well, what does Re-Animator have in common with the Bee Gees? Ha, 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 ha. It's a 5. It's a 5. It's a 5
I
and
thought it was
6.
staying
In fact,
alive.
it's a 5.86 is what it is, man. This movie is fucking amazing. I love it. Tell me another movie like Re-Animator.
True.
You can't. There's no other movie like this. This is this dude's first fucking movie, and he comes from prestigious fucking Chicago theater, and he makes fucking Re-Animator. He's like, all right, if I'm going to make a horror movie, I'm going to fucking go for it, right? And he doesn't go for it in a way like, say, Tobe Hooper or Wes Craven did, where they're like going for it to make you uncomfortable. This movie's trying to make you uncomfortable, but at the same time, arouse you, titillate you, and entertain you, and humor you. This is, if you want to call it a horror comedy, this is one of the greatest horror comedies of all time, along with Return of the Living Dead. This is one of the greatest films in American cinema history. 5, a perfect score.
Oh yeah, I love it, man.
5.6985.
The fact that you said he was like coming from theater background, I got vibes from that while watching this. I was like, I feel like, you know, specifically Jeffrey Combs. I was like, I feel like they're coming at this from like a theatrical play almost.
Most of the actors in this film were part of their theater troupe.
No
Which is so
shit.
cool.
Yep.
It's such a
okay.
cool thing. And that you really feel not just that necessarily, but you feel the small budgetness, you feel the tightness of the crew, and you would have to have that. For Barbara Crampton's sake, you would have to have a tight crew. And I was about to make a filthy joke, but I'll just shut the fuck up. But all right, let's wrap this bad boy up next week right here on Blood Splatter Chat. Dude, I forgot we were doing this. I'm very excited about this. I haven't seen it in a bit. Link's never seen it. I think it's a great film. The Invisible Man, 2020.
Great movie.
Great excited, man. Yeah, this is a bit of a banger that I literally forgot that I picked. I was like, oh hell yeah. So yeah, we'll be here next Thursday for that. But before that, oh no, just hold on to it. Before that, as Madison joins the crew and tells me she has to go to the potty. Before that, we'll be talking the Black Monday Murders, Stu and I on Dr. Doom's Fan Club next Tuesday. Before Fable show. I don't know exactly what we're doing. I think like 6 p.m. Central Time, something around there over on Dr. Doom's Fan Club, Volume 1, some Jonathan Hickman action. Super excited about that. And then, Robbie, I made the fucking slide and then I put the wrong fucking one up. So, Robbie, what are you doing this Monday?
We're doing Mother, the Darren Aronofsky film starring Jennifer Lawrence. I've never seen it. It's Two Guns Pick for March Madness, so I'm excited to check that out. And I love, like we've talked about Black Swan on this channel, for instance. I love Pie. That's a great March Madness type film.
I love Cupcakes.
Wasn't Pie?
I like Pie better than Cupcakes, but I'm very excited to talk about Mother for the first time in my first watch.
Hell yeah, man! Two gun fucking tried to get me to join that. I'm like, hey, first of all, that's not how fucking Rockin' Robbie rolls, but I just couldn't fucking swing it too. But I want to see that movie.
I
so
think
bad.
I got room, man. If you
I'm dying to know what you, I'm dying to know if I can't make it, which I can't. Then
I got plenty of room for Mother. By the way,
I can't make it.
It's just me,
No, I
Delaney
can't.
Brooks, and Steph for Mother So, Steph, by the way, reminder, you're on Mother for next Monday night. Okay.
Go check out again Dr. Doom's fan club, who had to dip out. He's over on John Comics with Kids right now. Ink and Insights every Tuesday night. They're talking
And
about.
I'm certain they're
like
not talking about something nearly as cool as Re-Animator.
some Transformer shit. And then he dropped this, so make sure you go check that out. Go check out what Stu's doing over there on Dr. Doom's fan club. And then again, next Tuesday, right here. Be there, be square. And then Link just found out he'll be on Mother. Oh, fuck, there it is. My bad. My bad.
Yay, there it is.
I did do it.
You
right.
even told me. What a great thumbnail.
I thought I put up the wrong slide. My bad. But Link, you got anything going on other than this?
Yeah, no. Catch me on Mother, and then next week for the Invisible Man. I've been laying low on comic stuff, but I'll be back eventually.
She's trying to sing back. You want to try it one more time? Oh, she got cold feet. She was trying to say, na 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 na.
Let's go, Maddie.
Batman.
Come on, Maddie. Yeah.
Yay!
They love it. You're a rock star.
Awesome.
You are a rock star. All right, I got a dip, man. The Bulls just started 1 minute ago. Oh my God, I gotta go watch it. Two Gun, Fable, Chill Out, man. All you sexy sons of bitches down in the comments. Chat, I love you guys. SoCal Dan, he's sexy son of a bitch. Never seen him. I don't know if he's sexy. I don't know why I'm calling so many men sexy tonight.
It's because you're part of Buttfuck Club, but don't worry about it.
Kenneth Bird. What's
Real
that?
quick, I just want to say, stay classy and go F yourselves. I just gotta throw that in there.
You got it.
Everybody,
Right,
including that one kid right there.
except for that one.
Here, wipe your nose, and then we're gonna go. All right, we'll see you guys next week. You guys are the shit, and we'll see you next time. Well, where's the button? There it is.